merry-go-round, round with ya. In and out, then up and down.
Prince Harry recently touched down in Shanghai to speak at the Univision 2025 Summit hosted by Trip.com Group. He also led the Travelers Executive Summit, pushing for more sustainable travel practices, especially in the Asian Pacific region. In his keynote, he stressed how climate change is not just an environmental issue, but a major economic concern too. He called on the travel industry to step up and lead the way toward an eco-friendly tourism. Meanwhile, Meghan and the kids are still in Montecito, doing what they do best, be wholesome, cute, and beautiful. We'll be talking more about Meghan and Lilibet later in the podcast, so stay tuned for that. On to the next story. Megan Sussex left a thoughtful note for flight attendants on a flight, thanking them for their incredible service. It's a small gesture, but it really shows the impact of appreciation in our daily lives. Megan's act reminds us how a simple thank you can go a long way. This happened on Thursday. An American Airlines stewardess, Nina Vida, shared a handwritten note she received from the Duchess of Sussex, and she also shared on her TikTok. So let's take a look.
You guys will not believe who I just had on my flight, who I had a pleasure of serving. The Queen, the Princess, the Duchess of Sussex. The Meghan Markle was on my flight, and she's so beautiful in person. She was so sweet. She wrote us a little handwritten note back. So rewrote her note that said, "It's a pleasure of serving you. We love you real bad." And she wrote this note back that says, "Dear AA girlies, thank you for the love, hospitality, and handwritten note. You know me well. All love right back to you." And then I think it says, "Forever, Meg." You know, I can barely read this cursive, but look at this handwriting is giving rich, it's giving expensive, it's giving princess. She also said she loved my nails, and the captain on my last flight said they were intense. So, sir, it doesn't matter what you think. The Queen says she likes them.
Absolutely love that story she shared. Thank you so much, Nina Vida. And that was her TikTok page, by the way. So you can go follow her. I'm following her right now. Just really, yeah, she seems like, yeah, she seems like that girl. You know, that girl you want to, you know, hang out with or, you know, talk to, because you know she's a flight attendant, so she's seen the freaking world. You know. So yeah, that was just beautiful. Just a pure act of kindness. And it goes both ways. Megan returned it. And I believe that letter, she said, "As ever, Megan." I pressed pause on the video and it looks like it says "as ever." Of course, you know, we know that she also, you know, went to school for calligraphy. She did some, you know, calligraphy lessons, and she's an expert at that. And like I said, yeah, kindness goes a long way. It reminds me of a moment I recently had doing one of my walks with Zeus. It was actually this past Friday. On one of my walks with Zeus, I met a veteran, and you know, he said good morning to me. The walk was a 45-minute walk. It was so beautiful outside that we just had to do it. And yeah, the veteran, he was like, "Good morning," and I'm like, "Good morning." And then yeah, I looked at his hat, and I didn't know veterans, they wear those hats, and y'all know, with the U.S. flag on it. And I asked, "Are you a veteran?" And he was like, "I am." And I was like, "Thank you for your service." And like his whole face just lit up. Like, I mean, he already gave me a smile when he said good morning, you know, being polite, but that, you know, with me telling him thank you for his service, his face just lit up, and I know that it made his day. He was like, and he, you know, he nodded his head and he was like, "Thank you." And we, you know, went our separate ways. He walked in another way and I walked another way with, you know, to finish our walk. And it made me realize how much a simple act of kindness can mean to someone. And, so the next time you're out and about, remember to spread a little kindness. It can make someone's day. It really can. Okay, on to the next story. It's not necessarily Harry and Meghan related, but I thought it was an important topic to talk about. I'm going to start doing these on my podcast. So, just so you're all aware. This next story comes with a trigger warning because it's regarding alleged domestic violence, emotional abuse, and child safety. So, if these topics are a bit distressing for you or may have you triggered, please take care of yourself and don't listen. You don't have to listen at all. I will prioritize in time stamping this podcast so that you don't have to listen to this particular part of the podcast. You can just skip over it and get on to the Wofford Row skits. I promise you. But if you decide to listen on, thank you so much. And well, let's get to it. I'm sure most of you have heard of the beautiful actress, singer, and Disney princess Halle Bailey and her situation with an ex-partner who also happens to be the father of their beautiful son, Halo. Recently, public reports have emerged from multiple credible sources such as TMZ, BBC, People, and others regarding the singer and actress Halle Bailey and the allegation of abuse from her ex-partner, rapper, and YouTuber DDG. Court documents allege that during a custody exchange back in January 2025, Halle was physically assaulted. Her head was reportedly slammed into a steering wheel, chipping her tooth. Photos submitted to the court show bruising on her arms. She's also accused DDG of destroying her phone, breaking her home's Ring camera, and attempting to take their child without consent. A judge has granted her with temporary sole custody of their 1-year-old son Halo, along with a restraining order. This is not just celebrity news. This is a survivor speaking up. Something that can be incredibly difficult when the abuser is a powerful, popular, or publicly beloved. And Halle did what many survivors are too afraid or too unable to do. She took legal action and presented evidence. But it's also important to note that DDG has denied the claims publicly, and there will be further court proceedings in the upcoming weeks. But I want to focus on this conversation not on gossip, but on what this means for so many people in similar situations. Abuse isn't always black eyes and broken bones. It can be intimidation, control, emotional manipulation, threats against one's child, or surveillance. Halle's story, whether you're a fan of hers or not, puts a spotlight on what victims can go through behind closed doors. And too often, women, especially black women, aren't believed. They're told to keep quiet, to protect reputations, to forgive and forget. You trying to put another black man in jail? You trying to keep this black man from his child? Which is definitely not the case, because there are plenty of black men who would never put the mother of their children or their children through the hell that Halle has allegedly gone through based on her court documents. It's about accountability and also breaking toxic cycles. Because supporting survivors means believing them, not blaming them, and understanding that leaving an abuser is often the most dangerous time. It takes courage, resources, and support. Halle Bailey is a young mother, an artist, and a woman who didn't owe anyone her truth, but she told it anyway. And for that, she deserves protection and healing, not judgment or online hate. Because Halle, she's going through it. Like, while most of us believe her and are supportive of her, there is like a whole manosphere like men, I guess men in that demographic over there, anti-women, who are just like spreading like misinformation on Halle, editing like old interviews or videos and manipulating her words and manipulating videos. Of course, a lot of the videos were fact checked and had labels on it that it's misinformation. And on top of going through postpartum depression, like Halle is, I mean, she is really going through it, you know, on top of this abuse that she's going through and emotional stress that her son is obviously going through because he's witnessing all of this as well. The creepy and disturbing part was when he actually went inside of her home when she wasn't there without her consent and took a photo of her empty bed. Yes, this happened. According to the court documents, it alleged that during a custody exchange in January, Halle told the court that DDG once came to her home when she wasn't there, took a photo of her empty bed, and then sent it to her in a text. That kind of behavior feels invasive, unsettling, and controlling, almost like a threat. So you can understand why she did the restraining order. And then for the sole custody, I'll explain this. She also described a terrifying incident where DDG refused to tell her where their baby Halo was. He kept Halo from her, and she feared he had taken their son without permission. Imagine that as a mother. Your baby is missing, and the person who's supposed to co-parent with you won't even tell you where your child is. That's not just emotional abuse. That's a direct threat to her safety and her child's. So when a judge granted her temporary sole custody, I'm sure she felt vindicated in that regard. There's a lot going on, and just because she wants to protect herself and her child, you know, she wants to protect her child mostly because, like, who wants their child to grow up in an environment like that, toxic environment at that, you know, to witness their mother, you know, getting hurt like that, whether it's physically, emotionally, and financially. Who wants to bring up their son to behave in that kind of way? And I'm also glad that she actually had the judge ban her ex-partner from talking about her and their child on his shows, because that's what he pretty much has been doing on his shows. He just been talking about her and their child for the views. And I may sound biased, but I'm always going to be team woman, especially regarding this, since the demographic, I mean, it doesn't lie. Like the biggest, you know, people, the biggest victims or survivors who go through situations like this are women and children. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you if you disagree. I'm just not going to just, you know, go along with lies and misinformation and spread it in my videos. All the information that I've got came from credible sources mentioned before, like TMZ, People, BBC, also NBC, ABC, CBS, all of the important, you know, Associated Press. So there's facts and then there's misinformation, and I am always going to go with the facts and reality. All right, I'm going to wrap up the podcast with one more story, and it's regarding Meghan and her daughter Lilibet. Meghan shared a beautiful Instagram reel featuring herself and Lilibet dressed in adorable beekeeper gear. They were at an apiary, enjoying a fun and educational experience together. Love that so much. It was so cute. It's always lovely to see moments like these, you know, like family and nature coming together, and a beautiful reminder of the simple joys in life. So I'm going to end this portion of the podcast, and we will get to the Wofford World skits. So hit it, Horse Miller.
This podcast is sponsored by Hermest,
where the breeze will lead you onto the lap of your very own married middle-aged father of two. Buy it at your local Sephora or at an available Amazon storefront today. Hanana, hey me.
Mother, there's short hair again.
Who?
Megan. Ever since she started posting on Instagram, looking happy and youthful, the press has been more interested in her. Why can't I post on Instagram?
You can, but the bald-headed William refuses to let you do anything. Ever since he left you.
He's still my husband.
In public, but where's he now? He's never with the other children.
I don't want to discuss about him. I want to discuss about Megan.
Who cares about that blasted woman? You're going to be queen consort someday.
Don't tell that to Willie. He's determined to make my life a living hell.
What are you two doing in my office? To confront your son on his mistreatment of his wife. I can't control what another man does in his marriage. I bet you can't. Set yourself right by Lamella's bum. You haven't the day to act as a king. What did you say? I'd kick this ungrateful brat out of here if I were you, Paul. I should order my officers to escort you out, but it will only cause a scene, and you're pathetic. Us or you.
Tampon baby. Meghan and Lilibet fetched honey from those poor bees.
Thanks, honey. Wait, let me see. What are they wearing?
Beekeeper costumes, I'm assuming.
Why doesn't Megan wear something more figure-flattering?
Maybe because she isn't dressing for you, you pervert.
Why are you here anyway? Go find something on online shopping.
Perhaps I will. The toupee will do you some good.
Buy it for yourself to cover your face with.
I'll make an additional purchase for some teeth whitening strips.
Enough, you two. It's time you both do something about this marriage.
As long as Harry is married to Meghan, William will stay married, even if he is miserable.
Competing is one thing. A one-sided competition is another. I'm right here. Yes, you are. And now I want you to leave. So, all of you, out of my office, at once.
And that's all for this podcast. And I'd like to take a moment to honor and remember the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. Memorial Day is more than just a long weekend. It's a time to reflect on the sacrifices that allow us the freedoms we enjoy every day. Whether you're spending time with loved ones, attending a ceremony, or simply enjoying a moment of quiet gratitude. Let's just all take a moment to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And may your days be filled with blue skies, sunshines, with positive vibes. I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Also, join a membership, as well as my Walmart storefront, my Amazon storefront, and you can also follow me on TikTok, Red Note, Blue Sky, and my cats Oreo and Luna's page on Facebook. My name is Deanna, and you are watching Thriving with the Narcissist. I'll talk to you soon.